Okay, guys, happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Now, the thing is, let me answer all your questions, okay? Today is a really super auspicious, actually, by the UK time, by the Panchang that you can see, right? The in the UK, the Ganesh Chaturthi, okay, begins today. So now you have to be really familiar with this, okay, because you've been studying for Panchang and you have to, for everything, you have to look at the Panchang very closely. And nakshatras is a really integral part of Panchang, okay? Now, when we talk about the that Chaturthi and all that in India, they are celebrating it tomorrow. Okay, because in the morning, the tithi which is happening in the morning at sunrise is when the sets the tone of the day. Okay, but of course there are exceptions like Amavasya. Usually you take the Amavasya towards not the beginning of the day. I mean, mostly by and large, we will take it for the beginning of the day. But supposing, like in Dipavali, right, the Diwali, we consider because Amavasya has a lot to do with the moon, we would consider the Chaturdashi and Amavasya happening, which is happening in the evening time. Okay, so that is and even the Mahashivratri, which happens in the Narka Chaturdashi, which is the Krishna Paksh Chaturdashi, so we would consider that in the evening, because remember it's the Shivaratri, it's all about the night. So what is the reigning tithi in the night, that is after the sun has set, is what we would consider. Okay, so coming back to our little thing about Ganesh today, and Oksana's question about what are the different vahanas. Okay, you have to understand that when we talk about Ganesh and Kartikeya, they both are the sons of um, Shiva and Parvati. And Shiva and Parvati have with Ganesh, as far as Ganesh is concerned, there is a little interesting thing about Ganesh, okay? Because he was not really born directly. Yes, technically he is Lord Shiva's son as well as Parvati's, but Parvati made him out of her own creation. Okay, he was given, and you know the story. I'm not going to go into the story of how he got the head, because all the fight with Shiva and so on and so forth. He was guarding Parvati, but essentially he's kind of like self generating from with the help of Parvati. So, and because you all know the story about how there was a competition, and how Shiva declared that the winner will win if they went all round, whoever was the fastest, if they went all round the earth, they would, or sorry, not just the earth, all round the worlds, they would win. And whoever would win would be in the fastest time would be given one of the great, sort of special mentions. And so the race began, and it was so popular. This everybody wanted to win. Saturn wanted to win, all the planets also wanted to win, and so much so that the sun thought, I am always shining, without me nothing would work, I have to win this competition. So all the planets, so the sun also started making preparations of how I can go all around the world in the record time. So remember, the sun will take at least a minimum of 12 hours and 12 hours, because whenever the sun is setting in one part of the planet, there is some other planet, some other part of the planet is getting sunlight, so the sun would have the limitation, but sun was wondering how I can make it faster, to go all around the world. So this kind of was set out like a whole tone of competition. But of course, like I said, Ganesh is a special one. So he got into, like, okay, he went all around his parents 3 times. And of course, because he was playing there, of course, he won the race because in terms of record time. But then, why did he win the race? Because his reply was phenomenal. He said, "You, both my parents, Lord Shiva and Parvati, are the world to me. They are literally the entire world and all the lokas." And so that's why and Lord Shiva was so pleased with his answer. And it was the perfect answer. He went 3 times, which is what the competition was, 3 times all around the world. And so, and that's why he is always revered first thing in, in any puja, in any, and that's why he's also the remover of all kinds of obstacles. Okay, now coming back to Oksana's question about why is it that in this yuga, in this Kali Yuga, we are seeing Ganesh's vehicle as, Mushika, the little mouse. But what about in the other yugas? Anyone has any idea why that would be? Oksana, why don't you tell me what are the other vahanas you have read about? But of course, the most important, I mean, one of the obviously what's you can see on the screen is the peacock. So, in some particular yuga, peacock was also the vahana for Lord Ganesh. So, tell me, go on. Anyone?
Uh,
Oksana?
yes, so now, yes, so it was a lion. So he used to ride a lion, a peacock, an elephant, and then a ram, and someone else was there, a tortoise.
A what? A what?
That's what I
Horse?
have
Bull, you mean?
just.
I
No,
don't.
no, a ram.
Oh, lamb. Okay. Oh, how interesting. A lamb
No,
even.
not lamb, ram, R-A-M,
Oh, ram. Yes.
ram.
The goat. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the internet is not working properly, so.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So basically, every yuga, okay, Ganesh appears because remember what I said, that he is the primemost, he is the natural Badhak remover. In everything in your work, in anything, he is literally the Badhak, natural Badhak remover, right? And so every yuga has its own little, what's the word? A certain kind of, every Kali Yuga, every Yuga has its own speciality, its own powers or its own values to be manifested. Okay. So when it is the lion, then it would have been a certain kind of a particular yuga where it would have manifested as his vehicle as a lion. Now, why is it Mushika? Because see, the for this particular yuga, I can answer because it is also, it's like, um, don't think it's like a little small thing. It's a very fierce um, little animal. Okay, the mouse is a very, very fierce one. It can bite through everything and escape everything. And that also indicates the nature of our lives in Kali Yuga in this time, that we literally have to really, the teeth can bite through loads of things. That shows like a sense of sharpness, a sense of, ferocity. and also a sense of what's the word, being able to overcome a lot of impediments in this particular yuga and lifetime. And that's why in this we have encountered the muchika. Now, for the peacock, there would have been peacock is originally, I know you said it is a bad omen, but the peacock feather is one of the most auspicious things ever. If you want to overcome some big issues in your life, a big problem, all you have to do is take either three peacock feathers or five peacock feathers and go to a temple and just touch it with whichever your favorite deity or Hanuman or whoever, and at the temple, and instead of donating it, you can just bring them home and place it in like the southwest, or the south corner or the southwest corner of your home, and this will be a very powerful remedy for removing a lot of problems and things like that. So the peacock itself is actually a vahana for Kartikeya, or the brother of Ganesh, and Kartikeya has a very close link, especially in southern India. Kartikeya is always portrayed, or Murugan is always portrayed on the peacock. Peacock has this sense of aggressiveness, and I don't want to it's not like a negative aggressiveness, but it is like a depicting of a very sort of like aggressiveness to go forward and get what you want, and yet there is a deep sense of protection and beauty. Remember the peacock eye. If you look at the feathers of the peacock, this resembles the eye, and the eye is literally a lot like what the Turkish believe, the evil eye, right? It repels. In fact, it's probably originated because of that. If you look at the blue, because in Turkey, if you look at it, it's always like blue, right?
Yes.
Oksana.
Nazarlık, we
Yeah,
call it.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
keep it
So
at home, the Turkish one.
yeah. It's always the blue color, right? It's a
Yeah.
very deep blue and a light blue. Just like if you look at the on the screen, the peacock feathers, it's just like that. And so that also repels a lot of negativity, a lot of, what do you call, black magic, a lot of tantra, negative tantra and things like that. So this is a very powerful symbol. So every single thing about the peacock is absolutely beautiful. And you may say that, oh, it's a negative symbol, but it's negative because perhaps I'm just thinking about it. Um, Maybe because it is got ugly feet. Okay, the thing about the peacock is it is absolutely majestic. Like in India, it is the national bird. It is absolutely beautiful, majestic, and it of course stands for beauty and strength. But there is a sense of, if you look at the study the nature of the peacock, there is a certain aggressiveness with the peacock. Have you are you aware of that? And perhaps because it is also the Vahana for Kartikeya, and the story about what happened after. Does anybody know after Ganesh won the competition? What happened between
Lord
Kartikeya?
Kartikeya left his home, his mother,
Yes,
his father, and
yes.
went away.
Yes, because he was so angry. He had
Yes.
so much, uh, you know, so much, he was seething with rage because he found it very unfair. Because he thought, I have been preparing for so long to go all round, but here it is, these people have won. Lord Ganesh has just won. and nobody is taking care of how I feel, and what about my preparations and my hard work and all of that. So he really got annoyed. So where did he go? He went down south, you know. And why? And if you look at it, there are six major Kartikeya or Murugan centers in southern India, and they all have to, especially if you're doing jyotish or the panchang, because it is a very powerful remedy for all of you in certain. As we move along, I will come to that, which temple and what form of Kartikeya. But there are six major forms of Kartikeya, and his vehicle is the peacock, you know. And it is, and when he went down south, he wanted to get cooled off. So one of the great temples, of Bogar tradition, one of the siddhars, is basically he has kind of devoted his life to this whole Kartikeya tradition, and all the tantra and the mantra shakti and the jyotish shakti comes from those six abodes of Kartikeya in down south. So he's very much revered, very much, you know. So that is why I think the sense of, perhaps I'm just putting two and two together, maybe that is why the peacock is considered negative, because of its deep anger and aggressiveness, because it's a very aggressive thing, right? But ironically, the peacock feather has been used by Lord Krishna. That's his main thing. And what does Lord Krishna stand for again? It all gets connected. What does he stand for? One of the key things about Lord Krishna is he repels. He is the only thing, the darkness of any kind of darkness is going to be repelled. Any kind of black magic is going to be repelled by Lord Krishna. So, are you connecting all the dots then? So, any kind of, the Jyotish or Tantric or occult, the Naisarkiga eighth house has a lot to do with Murugan and Kartikeya and the whole concept of peacock. And in Panchapakshi, which is a very, very strong tantric, when we come to that, we'll study, but it's a very secret science of occult, and mystic occult, which is a Panchapakshi, and that is to do with one of the key Panchapakshis is, of course, the peacock. And even the nakshatra gets divided into the if you divide the nakshatras in a certain way, in sets of five, okay. All the nakshatras starting from Ashwini and all the way to Revati, one of the key things is that the peacock belongs to the last five of six nakshatras. I think it is five nakshatras of Pisces, okay, falling in Pisces, the last of them, all the way to Revati. And so that, for the Pakshi or the bird that symbolizes that, is, who's that? That's the peacock. Okay. So if you have planets in the last few nakshatras, then that's your, especially if it is a moon is there, then that is your Pakshi, the peacock. But interestingly, there is a little caveat to it. There's always like a retrograde retrograde motion. And when we talk of retrograde, we are talking of Ketu. And when we are talking about Ketu, we are always talking about Ganesh, because there is a very deep link with Ketu and Ganesh. So, wherever the Ketu is in your chart, whatever sign, that particular form of Ganesh will absolutely bless you. If you were to go in that direction. Yeah. So anyway, talking of a little bit of the retrograde, so if you have, let's say, if you're born in Shukla Paksh, then if you have moon in Peacock becomes your one of the Pakshis, which is right at the end of the nakshatras. But if, let's say, you have you were born on Krishna Paksh, right? Then all the it reverses. So the um, first five nakshatras then becomes the bird for that becomes the peacock. And that is why, can you make the connection with Lord Krishna? He was born in Krishna Ashtami and his moon was in Rohini, right? So the Pakshi associated then naturally, because we are talking of a reversal here. Is everybody getting this? Yeah? Because we will have to deal with reversals all the time. Krishna Paksh, Shukla Paksh, reverse, and so that is why Lord Krishna has also got associated with the peacock feather and the protection that it offers because of this reason. So it's very Jyotish, is very deep nakshatra knowledge, very deep. Everybody like this? Yeah.
Yes, that's
So
great.
are you getting Oksana? But anyway, you know what? Now, why
Yeah.
specifically lion and all? That is your research. We will have to look further into the yugas because every yuga,
Yes.
Ganesh's vehicle has changed. You
But
know?
now it is still that Mushika, right?
Yes. So that is a very powerful.
And
Don't
it will not change.
underestimate, huh? Yes.
It will not change.
I don't know. I don't know.
I,
The yugas is like we're talking of huge chunks of time, you know. We are talking of like huge thousands and thousands of years. We are not just talking of Kali Yuga, we are talking of the whole cycle, all the four yugas, the Krita Yuga, the Treta Yuga, the Dwapara, the Kali Yuga. The whole cycle will repeat itself. So you see, we are talking of huge chunks of time. It's very fascinating. Okay. So, anyone has any other question? Now, I think I'm in so much of the nakshatra mode. All doors for me are leading to nakshatra, But did you like this? That how each of the, why Lord Krishna wears that. Now, Kartikeya also, is like I said, so between the two brothers, okay, which is very phenomenal. Now, again, this is beautiful because if you think about it, all the occult, all of that has come to the knowledge of Mangal, the knowledge of logical and occult knowledge, which is very straightforward, and Tantra knowledge, where you do huge siddhis. All of that has gone to Kartikeya. He epitomizes, he is the overseer of all that. And because he wanted to cool off, because he was so angry, and the occult and any kind of Jyotish, because it is Surya, very strong Agni, your head starts to burn, right? Everybody will know
yes.
that. Everyone, all of you, including the Jyotishis. That's why the summer gets associated, the anger and the chi-chi-chi-chi-ness of all the Jyotishis and all the occult people and all the tantric will get together, and ying, 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 all of that will happen. But that is because so much of heat and energy is being produced, so he needed to cool off. So one of the great temples has got a huge lake, and in southern India, and Payani also, there is a constant flow of water. so that Kartikeya could calm down, calm, peacefully calm down, right? Now, coming back to the occult, now Lord Ganesh represents all the Siddhis, because that is why he's also called the Siddhi Vinayak. If you go in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, which is now Maharashtra is like, if there is any race or any region which is perfected in terms of the sadhanas and the devotion to Lord Ganesh, it is Maharashtra. That's the region I come from. And so this is a huge one. And this is well known all over the country. And I'm not saying that rest of the countries don't do, but there are certain regions which are phenomenal. Like I told you about the Kartikeya and Murugan. They are phenomenal in their worship in the south of India. They have six abodes, major abodes there. So similarly, in you have the Siddhi Vinayak. Siddhi Vinayak is where the Ganesh who's giving you all the Siddhis, which is all the, remember the 10th house, Siddhi, remember, one of his wives, and Riddhi, which is like, sorry,
Yeah.
what do you call, Siddhi and Vriddhi. Vriddhi is like growth, which is your 7th house, right? Remember that? Remember we did that? So
Yes,
that's
yes.
why he's also called the Siddhi Vinayak, and that is one of the most famous temples of Lord Ganesh in Mumbai. Okay. So he is also associated with a lot of siddhis, siddhis of the Vedas, siddhis of studying, siddhis of the numbers, siddhis of numerology. When you think of numerology, there is a whole numerology. Now, I know what some of you may think, and Oksana, you may think, no, Sona, not numerology. That is not part of Jyotish. Well, Oksana, it is all the maths you need. Surya Siddhanta has, it depends on all the maths and all the
I
nakshatra. 108 nakshatra we get.
Yeah, that is true. That's what
You
I
know,
have
what are
realized.
those
Yes.
different 108, the fine tuning of the nakshatras? Each nakshatra is what? Two and a half specific nakshatras. And within each nakshatra, there are four padas. So 27 into 4, multiply, go for it. 108, right? And what is that 108? The magical number. And if again you go further, so all of this is, that's why the Ganesh is always called Gananam. One of his prime most mantra is Gananam. Twa Ganapati Gum Havamahe. So that is his one of the key, and Jeshtara. So Jeshtha is what? Jeshtha is also referring to the nakshatra, but Jeshtha means the elder one, but the most accomplished, the most heroic, the most bestest of all. So you see, between Ganesh and Kartikeya, they've captured the two, uh, between both of them, they've captured all, they've left nothing uncovered as far as all the occult, Jyotish, Vidya, and everything to do with the Vedas is concerned. Do you see where I'm getting at now? So the
Yeah.
numerology is hugely important.
Yeah, and I use it for my readings as well. And I use numerology when I buy tickets, train tickets.
Okay, good. Oh, lovely. Do you? How
Yes, and it does
interesting.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so everybody like find this fascinating or not?
Yeah, so now could you please
Yes.
pronounce this mantra in a proper way
Yes,
so that we
please.
could,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay. So, Om Shreem Reem Kleem Glaum Gam Ganapataye Sarvam Sadhya, sadhya. Now, if you say it fast, it will also be sadhye, sadhye. Now, I think it's actually sadhya, sadhya, or you could say sadhaye, sadhaye. Okay, sadhaye, sadhaye. Okay. Some people, I think, pronounce it sadhaye, sadhaye, but it's truly the Sanskrit is sadhya. Sadhya is our goal. Remember, we had a class on sadhya, sadhana and sadhya. Remember that? Yeah, sadhya is our goals that we want to achieve, and so sarvam sadhya. So please, Shri is the Shri, the Lakshmi, the abundance and all that. The Reem is the bija for Saraswati. Please, sorry, Aim is the but Reem is for the Surya. Please give me all the light, and Kleem is for Krishna, and please cleanse me. So these three bijas are phenomenal and fundamental. Glaum is all about the Ganesh bija. Glaum Gam Ganapataye. Sarvam is all of it. And please make all my goals swaha. That is, please bless all my goals. I give them on to you. So this is a very powerful mantra. 12 times, morning, evening, night, just say it. Or alternatively, you could say Om Shreem Reem Kleem Glaum Gam Ganapataye Vara Varada Sarvajanam Me, one sec, Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaye Swaha. This is also a very, very beautiful mantra. Same thing, same bija. Shreem, Reem, Kleem. Those bijas remain the same. Glaum, Gam, Ganpataye. They are kind of like a block of bijas themselves for Ganesh. And Vara, Varada. So give me the boons, give me the blessings, give me the Vara. That is literally give me that manifesting power through all the boons that you can give me to manifest, to so that all the people can be, I can influence them, I can bring them towards me. So, but the first mantra is fantastic also for manifestation. So sarvam sadhya sadhya swaha. So Om, do you guys want to repeat with me 12 times?
Yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Om, just unmute yourselves and just speak.
Okay.
Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glaum
Gam
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 Ganapate
Ganapataye. All together, guys. Om
Okay.
Shreem
Shreem, Hreem, Kleem,
Glam
Glaum,
Ganapataye.
Gam, Ganapate, Sarvam, Sadhya,
Sadhye
Sadhya,
Sadhye
Swaha.
Swaha. Om Shreem Rim
Hreem, Hreem, Kleem,
Glam
Glaum, Gam,
Ganpataye.
Ganapate,
Sarvam
Sarvam, Sadhya,
Sadhye
Sadhya,
Sadhye
Swaha.
Swaha. Om
Shreem,
Shri
Hreem,
Klim
Kleem,
Glam
Glaum,
Ganpataye.
Gam, Ganapate,
Sarvam
Sarvam,
Sadhye
Sadhya,
Sadhye
Sadhya,
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Shrim, Rim, Klim, Glaum,
Glam
Gam,
Ganapataye.
Ganapataye,
Sarvam
Sarvam,
Sadhye Sadhye
Sadhya,
Swaha.
Sadhya, Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shrim, Hrim,
Klim
Klim,
Glam
Glaum,
Ganapataye.
Ganapataye, Sarvam,
Sadhya Sadhya
Sadhya,
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shrim,
Klim
Hrim,
Glam
Glaum, Glam,
Ganapataye.
Ganapate,
Sarvam Sadhya
Sadhya,
Sadhya
Sadhya,
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shrim,
Ri Klim
Klim,
Glam
Gam
Ganpataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam Sadhya
Sadhya
Sadhya Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shri
Hrim
Krim Krim
Glam
Ram
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam Sadhya Sadhya
Sarvasatya
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shri
Hrim
Hrim Hrim
Glam
Ram
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam
Sarvam
Sadhya
Sadhya
Sadhya Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri
Shri
Hrim
Hrim
Klim
Klim
Glam
Ram
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam
Sarvam
Sadhya
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 Swaha.
Swaha.
How many times?
One more.
Anyone counted?
10. 2 more.
Okay. Om Shri
Om Shri
Hrim
Hrim
Glam
Glam
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam
Sarvam
Sadhya
Sadhya
Sadhya Swaha.
Swaha.
Om
Om
Shri Hrim
Hrim
Glam
Gam
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Sarvam
Sarvam
Sadhya
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 Swaha.
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 Okay.
I hope we
So,
haven't invoked someone else.
what? Sorry?
I mean, I'm just joking, yeah. I say, I hope we haven't invoked someone else.
Whom would you have invoked? Why would you invoke somebody else?
With our pronunciation, I mean.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. I'm going to stop. So ultimately, it is, like I said, bhav and bhakti, okay? Because if you do not have the conviction that of the knowledge that this will help, any remedy, if you do not have the conviction that this particular person or this particular doctor or this particular nurse or this particular anything will has the ability to be able to help you and heal you in some way, or it is that particular remedy, have the faith that it is going to be effective or not effective, then nothing will help you. Please realize that, so yes, sure, you can get hung up on yeah, I'm totally for the right pronunciation. You cannot mess up on the pronunciation in Sanskrit, otherwise the mantras are rendered ineffective. So Oksana, yes, it is that, but there is something to be said about the bhava and the bhakti, because all deities, all devatas will see bhav and bhakti. Absolutely. So you may, but that's most of the problem solved actually. So you may not technically, if you're not right technically, that's fine. But if you do not say it with utmost clean heart and mind and kind of with faith, then it's not going to work. So the best of pronunciation won't work if you have like very little faith, or you're like, oh God, I can't be bothered, but I have to do it. Like you're
Yes,
just
true.
taking the medicine for the sake of it. Do you see that? You have to at some
Yes, of
point
course.
connect with it. On a emotional level, you have to connect. No amount of mantras, you can't just randomly do mantras. I see people like walking around doing mantras. It doesn't work like that. It will not work like that. Okay, I'm a purist. Okay, maybe they're and they're they're doing that. Have you seen those kind of people?
Yes, and I know some of them as well.
And it
Yes.
is really not going to work. Okay, if you have an health issue, maybe you cannot sit on the floor directly. you have to sit on a couch or on the bed or on or on the chair or something. I get that, okay? But even there, the effectiveness, because it's showing you how devoted are you. Can you 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, can you sit on an asana on the floor, and have that, can you have that discipline and the bhakti, and instead of, rather than moaning like, oh my god, my back is aching, stop. It will ache, accept it. And as we age, of course it will ache. We'll our legs may go to sleep. Of course we'll get pins and needles. But what I'm trying to say, all of you, is that it is, ultimately it boils down to the bhakti and little bit of faith enough that you have to give up something to get something. Yes,
Yeah.
everyone. No, what do you
No,
think?
I do agree with you. And could you please read the second one once again?
Okay, the second one is also so beautiful.
Yeah.
Om Shrim Rim Kling Glaum Gam Ganapataye Varavarada Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. Om Shrim Rim Kling Glaum Gam Ganapataye Varavarada Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. Remember, there is only the year. I should put it, I will send it to you guys, with the English one. I don't know how I missed that. But it's very simple. So we can say this all of us 3 times, then you will get it, okay? Still Ganapataye, it is the same thing, okay? And then it varies a little bit. So do you want to say it? All of you unmute yourself. Om
Om
Shrim
Shri
Reem
Rim
Kleem
Klim Glam
Glaum Gam Ganapataye
Ganapati Vara
Varavarada
Radha
Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. Om
Vashamanaya. Okay. Mhm.
Vashamanaya.
Mhm.
Om Shrim
Rim
Reem
Klim
Kleem
Klim
Glaum
Glam
Gam
Ganapati
Ganapataye Varavarada
Varavarada Sarva
Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. Om Shrim Reem Kleem Glaum Gam Pataye Varavarada
Varavarada
Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. So you got this, right? So the first mantra is very, if you do it just 12 times in the morning, in evening also, it's very effective. There are many, many mantras we will do about of Ganesh, when we come to the Ketu's placement will give you 100%, the house Ketu is in will give you the Ganesh, what the number of syllables, and so you know so yeah, so there are many, many mantras, okay? So any other questions, guys? No, nobody's got anything. Isabel, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm listening. I have no other question on Ganesh. Yeah, I was just looking at my peacock feather and my little Ganesh. So,
Yes. Now, another thing I want to add before we finish today, okay? Because I thought I will do the longitudinal degrees and the retrogrades, but maybe we will just leave it. Next week we won't have a class, but the week after we will, because next week I'm at Bava, okay? So, but the week after, I will. We will have a big class. And you know what? I know Isabel is very keen on the Graha Yuddha. But listen, guys, I just thought about it. I looked at the slides and I thought, I cannot do Yuddha on the day of Ganesh Chaturthi. Sorry, guys. Yuddha
It's
is a heavy
already
topic, okay?
okay.
And it's what's the word, because it is all about conflict. It is all about who's winning and who's, and I already gave you the winning gun. Think like Ganesh and you will win. So yeah, but I want to just say one thing, okay, that the anything where there is adversaries and energies are pumped in, because any kind of competitiveness, energies are pumped in, no matter what, any kind of war, competitiveness, there is always going to be a energy overflow. The heat will be generated and there will be overflow. And we heard about Kartikeya and how he had to cool off. He had to cool off. His anger had to be cooled. And that is both of, and now you may say, but Sonal, how come Ganesh, there's no cooling off? There is. And that is now my remedy number 2 for Ganesh Chaturthi for today. This evening, you can do it or tomorrow. One of the key things about Ganesh is that he also needed calming down, because he fought with so many, I forget, one of the demons he fought, uh and then he got really heated up. It was a fire eating demon and I forget the name. um I will put it up, but um this particular, all the fire. So Ganesh was called upon to go and destroy this particular Asura. And he finally did it. He destroyed him. And then, but he was, so much of heat was generated that he could not be cooled down. Oops, sorry. He could not be cooled down. And so, guess what happened then? So, there was only one thing that helped him, the Durva grass. You know the Durva, the grass? The blades of the grass are very powerful. So, the single offering, so 4 Durva grass offering on the head of Ganesh will help to calm down Ganesh. And this is a very good manifestation remedy. But where are you going to get it from? The grass. Because you cannot, the grass is not something we go to the lawn, people have stepped on it, right? So you have to find the grass. If you can find from some stores, um, you know, that will be very helpful. Or go to a place where nobody has been able to step on it, or people have grown. Maybe sometimes grass grows in pots. Remember, sometimes it does, right? Remember, like sometimes you find clumps of grass growing in pots sometimes, and nobody obviously would have stepped into a pot, right? So you could use that grass, that is also very helpful. And so essentially, you have to take the three. If you've seen the structure of grass, give me a moment. Blah, 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 blah. Give me, yeah. So if you look at the grass here, okay, simple blade of grass, okay, can you see, guys? Yeah. So you can see many, many, many branches, right? If you look at it, many branches. So it is a very simple thing. What you do is you just the top three. Can you see, guys, the top three?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
So the top three, and I've detached it from my this. So the top three is what ideally you are supposed to give. So this will count as one offering to Lord Ganesh, and 4 of these on his head will be like the solution. But remember, get the grass from where nobody has stepped on. Okay? Okay. Lovely, guys. So I will see you next, not the next week, but the week